thank you for joining me for today's process video, which is day 10 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life round 14. And today's sketch is a special sketch for me because it's mine. So you can see the sketch in the top left hand corner there. I'm documenting a photo of my two on their 3rd birthday, and they both got Iggle Piggle costumes and they're just looking really cute dressed up in them. So I've pulled out my Vicki Boutin Discover and Create because I really like the neutral tones in this collection to work with these photos. Obviously it's predominantly red and blue in the photo, so that's what I'm going to focus on. So I'm just cutting strips from the papers around 2 to 2.5 inches wide. I don't measure really, I just cut by eye, and building up the layers that you can see in that sketch there. So as I say, I definitely want to bring the red into this as well because the Iggle Piggle costumes have the red in, but there isn't really a lot of red in this collection, so I'm going to do that using my title later on. So first of all, it's just a case of creating all these strips. So before I came on camera, I just went through the papers and pulled out the neutral tones that I really like the look of, along with those blues, and I love that black. It's a black grid paper that I thought would work really nicely on the behind the actual photo itself. So nearly there now with the building of the layers. I'm using this text paper for the strip towards the bottom of the photo, and this is a brilliant way of using 6x8 pads or your scraps, because the photo covers most of the strips and the other strips cover the strips, if that makes sense. You can piece things together from a 6x8 pad. You don't actually need 12x12 papers for this sketch, so it really is a fun one to use, and obviously you can rotate it and things as well to get different designs. So, like I say, very nearly there now. I think this is the last strip that I'm cutting to go down the left-hand side. And I've got that stencil out. Again, that's from the Discover and Create because I am going to use that on the background. Now, that circle is the circle web die that we've got coming soon to Hey Little Magpie. I absolutely love that shape. James used to cut them with his laser printer, but we decided, or his laser cutter, we've decided to have a die made so that you can cut them out of any pattern papers that you want rather than just having white ones. So just going through now with my edge distresser, and I'm going to distress the edges of these papers and glue them down as I go. I'm using my 6-2 tape runner for the majority of it, but it does run out right at the end and I'm too lazy to go and get another cartridge, so I just carry on with my glue after this. So just checking if I can remember how they go. I have got the sketch in front of me above the glass mat there that it's out of sight, but I have got it there to refer to just so that I can see exactly how I've done these strips. Doing a sketch like this on a computer is a great way of just seeing how all the strips will work together and how many layers you need. It's not something that I do very often, but I really enjoy working with this sketch, so I probably will do it again now. So as I say, just using that Tim Holtz edge distresser to distress all those edges, and then I'll get it glued down. Are you joining in on 30 Days of Sketches? I'm not doing all of the sketches this month. I've just got too busy a life at the moment, but I'm trying to join in where I can and still continuing with my Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday schedule. So I should be doing those sketches or something else on those days, and then just adding in some more as and where I can. But it's brilliant because I was saying to somebody the other day, I love doing sketches because it really does vary up your album. I think you tend to have a style of scrapping and you can go to the same design each time that you create a layout if you're not careful. So by using sketches, you can still make them your own. It will still be very much your style, but it just sort of switches up the designs of things that are in your albums. Sorry, I seem to be struggling with words a bit today. So as you can see, I'm just distressing the bits that are going to show on these mats. I can't be bothered distressing right down the backs where they're going to be hidden behind papers. So just distressing the bits that are necessary there. And the photo was printed with a white border, so I didn't need to add that onto card. But if it wasn't, I would have added it onto a card mat just to provide a bit of differential between that and all the layers of paper behind it. So I'm just going to get that circle web situated. And I think I glue the photo down at this point. Yes, gluing the photo down as well, just so that this block is ready. And then I can add my mixed media in the background and bring it back as and when I need to see where the stenciling needs to go. And once again, I'm going to be using my watercolour pencils from Tin Holtz to do this. I'm really enjoying using them. It's a new tool for me and I do like to try things out and work out different ways of using them as well. So bringing that stencil in, and I've got the pencil, it's the speckled egg, and I'm just dipping it into some water and then running it over the stencil here. So again, I know that this is going to bleed underneath those lines, but I'm perfectly happy with that because I don't want it to be too precise. I just want to create a little bit of texture in the background, but almost like a controlled texture rather than using the packaging technique or something. So just bringing this in to see how far across I have to go, and then I can keep working. And I do move the stencil about the page so that it covers all that area where that big mat is going to go. So just keep dipping the pencil in and colouring in, and then shortly, a bit later, you'll see that I actually bring in a paintbrush and rub the paintbrush against the pencil and then paint that. And I think that's my favourite technique so far. It definitely provides a slightly more messy look, but it's really effective. So you can see there it started to bleed a little bit under those lines, but I really like the look of that, so I'm not worried. So continuing on, and this is where, as I say, I bring the paintbrush in, so just rubbing the paintbrush along that pigment in the watercolour pencil and then adding it down onto the stencil. And just being quite rough as to how I put it. And I will bring this stenciling down the left-hand side of that photo mat as well, on the left-hand side of the card. And of course, because with all paints and things, this does dry a lot paler once it's dry. It's not nearly so obvious as it is here. So just a tiny bit more at the top here, and then that's that stenciling done. And then I'm going to come in with one of the other colours from the pencil tin and add some brighter blue splatters around the place. Just adding to the bottom right hand corner where we've got that little cluster that's going to go, and then I'll bring in the other pencil. There we go. So just moving that out of the way so that I can add my splatters, and it's this bright blue that I want to use, which works really nicely with their costumes. So just rubbing a wet paintbrush along the pencil, and then I can add those splatters. So much easier than messing around with ink pads if you want to create splatters and things on your layouts. So now coming in with my 2-inch circle punch to create that circle element on the right hand side, and a couple of the branding strips, which I will just wrap up with my fingertips, my fingernails, and then add as a layer on that bottom piece. So just working out how I'm going to do it all, exactly where it's going to go. So again, I needed to bring that mat back in. And then here I am just using my fingernails just to rough up the edges of these little bits, and then I can stick them down there. And I will add some embellishments after, but that just gives me my base. I think when you've created the sketch yourself, it's almost easier to do it because you sort of know how the layers go. So just adding those 2 strips together, and then I'll add the circle on top and just get that glued down as one piece before I stick it down onto the layout, because then I can move it around, see exactly where I want it to go. So just getting everything positioned and then gluing it down. So that's that down, and then I'll go on to the main mat. Just adding plenty of glue all over so it gets a nice bond. That glue stopped working again, so back to my Nouveau. I think the nozzle just gets clogged. So just turning this over carefully, and then I'll bring in my T-square ruler just to check that it's all straight on the page before sticking it down properly. And I just love that combination of all those neutral colours. That's why I'm so drawn to this Discover and Create collection. I'm pleased that I've still got plenty left in the shop, because no doubt I'll be getting more. I've taken the pad, but I can see that I want some of the loose sheets as well. There are certain patterns that I seem to reach for time and time again. So these are the foam stickers, and I'm just going to add a few tiny little bits. Start off with that little heart at the bottom, and then this, I love this tab, and I'm going to use that to add my date. and then the little binder clip that's going to go at the top, and I will add some wax twine through that. So just handwriting the date on that little tab there, the label, and then just seeing what else I can see. And I love these gold dots, so I'm just going to dot those about the page, just as little scattering pieces, and it really brightens everything up, bringing that gold in. And then this little piece just says love this, and it's in that beautiful blue, so that works. So then onto the 6x12 sticker sheets, and there's a little heart, gold heart in a circle that I use there. And then I'm going into the smaller stickers. So first of all, these puffy stickers, and I just add a little blue puffy heart there and a little black star to that right hand cluster. And then through the sticker book, well, no, these are the papery pieces, and I find this little washi sticker of a heart, which I think will work really nicely on that circle, so I just add that. And then I'm going to go onto the sticker book and use that for my title. These blue splodges work really nicely at the bottom of the page, so I'm just adding those. Again, it's another washi sticker. And then here's the sticker book with those lovely alphabets. So I'm just going to write out Iggle Piggle, and then I'm going to use my red Florence alphabets to write squared. Now I know mathematically 1 squared is not 2, but I just really like the sound of that title, and I couldn't get away from it, and I put it on, and well, there you go. So I am sorry if I've offended anybody by not knowing maths properly. But yeah, I like the look of it, and I like the sound of it, and it was down, so it's staying. So going back into those lovely little puffy stickers to add a couple of hearts around the title, just some little black ones, and then I'm going to go in with my journaling and just a tiny bit of journaling underneath that says, on your 3rd birthday, you both got Iggle Piggle costumes, amazing. They really loved In the Night Garden, so they were so happy with these costumes. So this is just some grey wax twine that I'm going to add to that binder clip. And I think that's pretty much the layout done. So thank you for joining me. Do check the description box for everybody else who's playing along. If you have played with this sketch, I really hope you've enjoyed it. Or take a screenshot and try it yourself if you haven't done it already. And I shall see you again very soon for another process video. Thank you so much. Bye.